That was quick. Cha-cha! Fucking hell, it's a good start, isn't it?
Hi, I'm Sora.
Oh, and I'm Saffron.
Welcome to Strangers in Fiction.
That's what the name of the show is.
Yes, it is the name of the show. This is so exciting. Our first video episode, and nobody's nervous.
Not even one of us, not
Nope.
even both of us. It's fine. I
Yes.
feel fine about it. I have not recorded a video episode of anything in a couple of months, I think. And it feels like the first time again. And
That tracks.
yeah, I feel sick in my stomach and all other places in my body. It's horrible.
I didn't until you said something, and now I do. Yay.
I'm so sorry. It's
No,
fine.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine. Instead, you'll be sick of me by the end, and that'll be fine. I will take the hit for that. Anyway,
Okay.
we haven't spoken to each other in such a long time.
It's been like a month and a half, yeah.
Which is disgusting.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
We're not doing that again. I've missed you.
Okay.
Really.
I missed you too.
Ooh, that's nice. What have you been doing?
What have I been doing?
I have no idea.
I built some shelves.
You did?
I built my IKEA shelves, and then I agonized over what order to put my books in on them. This is my indie and to be read shelf. Eventually, I would like this whole area up here to be just indie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. So that's cool. It's exciting.
There's a lot to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to run out of options.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm just sad that there are some books that I would like to get in hardback, hardcover, hardback, or paperback, but they're only available in ebook form. Like the Never series, I'm pretty sure that's only ebook, and I want to put it on my shelf.
We'll have to ask Ashley.
But I cannot. Yeah.
I have to see what the plan is for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that some authors, because of the pricing structure on Amazon, I think sometimes they'll like order them separately and then sell them on Ko-Fi or whatever platform it is. So
that tracks.
we can look into that. We'll see. But yeah,
cool.
there's that's the in my opinion the only downside is that you're not often going to get consistency and availability because either the products are too expensive for them to be able to make any profits, so what's the point? Or, you know, I've spoken to an author before who charges nearly $30 for a hardback and they don't make like more than a couple of cents, which is bonkers, but they're really expensive to produce. And now I think things are going to become more expensive. Just before we hopped on here, on the Discord server for Idiosyncrasy, one of the writers on there got a message from Amazon saying that they had to put the prices up, otherwise they weren't going to make any profit because of the increase in material costs. So we're going to see a lot of that, and there's going to be a lot of impact in the indie community, but I'm hoping that it'll settle down.
Yeah.
I haven't got high hopes, but I've got some hopes because otherwise what's the point?
Right? Yeah.
So when you were doing your shelving situation, how many times did that setup change?
The shelves themselves, or just the books?
The books.
I'm gonna guesstimate like 5 or 6.
That's not that many.
No, it's not. It's not.
Well done.
But yeah, thanks. Cool. I mostly just use the like Dewey Decimal System, sort of. Not like the actual system itself, just like the rules that it uses. Like nice. The children's lit goes in one section, and things are organized by genre, and then by author's the order of the series if it's a series of books. And let's be honest, I mostly just read book series.
You feel a little bit cheated when there's only one book, like a standalone?
I don't know about that, but sometimes I wish that the story would continue, but not all the time. Not all the time. Some stories are finished when the book is over, and you know that's totally valid.
but also I would like more.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, excellent. Have you done much writing? Have you had a chance to do any more work towards is that a horrible question?
No, it's a perfectly good question. It's a valid question. It's a very considerate question, even. It's just the answer is so depressing.
I'll take that as a yes.
I've done the work that I can, which is not a whole lot.
Excellent. And that was the episode bajillion of Strangers in Fiction. Thank you for joining us. Straight up forgot the number of the episode.
I'm pretty sure this is episode 6.
I hope so. That's what I'll call it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've written a couple hundred words, I think, for book 2, but I've mostly just been stuck in this weird liminal space between being extremely inspired and problem solving and just being smack dab in the middle of a writer's block. So, yeah, it's been interesting.
I mean, we do often do a lot of work in our heads towards a book, and it's not always measurable by the amount of words that we're able to type, because there's a lot of stuff that happens off page. And I love when people like, I've written 1,000 words. I'm like, I haven't written anything in 3 weeks, but I've been doing loads of work on it.
Yes.
And that's not measurable because my brain is like a big bowl of spaghetti. And it's stuffed to the brim with nonsense. So, I mean, have you at least been like doing thought experiments with it, or like trying to figure it out? Because that's still work towards it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, when that doesn't really result in any kind of forward movement, it can be really frustrating.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, but I'm keeping on. I'm hanging in there, and I haven't given up.
You better not do, otherwise I'll come over there and I'll give you what for. By that I mean I'll present you with a gift. I won't punch you because I'm not a violent person. This is always, there's a gift in there.
Okay.
Punch.
That tracks.
Oh Christ. So do you in terms of your writer's block, is it because you have too much going on in your head in terms of like trying to work things out that you can't translate that to like a formulaic string of words?
I'm stuck in 5 or 6 places right now. And each of the stuck places is because of a different thing. So like I could go into a lot of detail, but I don't want to bore people or give spoilers. So it's, like one of them is that I can't figure out what this character says to this other character. I just, the scene stops. It won't move forward. And pretty much all 4 of the other spots are more like I'm revising it rather than drafting it, so it's just not working. I don't know what this is.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I'm waiting, mostly. I'm waiting for something to happen, because I've done all of the thinking that I realistically can. I'm staying in touch with the story, but I'm mostly just waiting for inspiration to strike, or that's basically it. Yeah. Waiting for something to sort itself out.
Is that how it normally resolves itself for you? Is that you just give it time and then it comes to you?
I mean, yes and no. Sometimes banging my head against the wall, like I've been doing for the past several months, is effective, and that results in something. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that before. and I completely lost my train of thought.
So sometimes you bang your head against the wall.
Right.
And apparently that's caused some sort of issue for you.
No, like I'll wrestle with the problem or try to come up with new ideas, and sometimes that works. Sometimes I magically produce something.
Mm-hmm.
But normally it's when I step away from doing that and I engage with other media or I do something else that my brain just goes, here you go, have an idea. Have a nice day. Thanks, bye. I go, thank you, brain. You couldn't have done that like 6 hours ago. That would have been nice. Whatever, it's fine.
I find myself
about...
doing monotonous stuff. I think that definitely helps, because when you're pressuring yourself to come up with a solution is when you're going to put yourself into a corner and then panic and then not be able to give yourself that solution. Whereas if you're like, take a little holiday, that part of my brain, let me go do something else, like chop up a whole bag of potatoes or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then sometimes you leave the potatoes half done in the kitchen on the side getting brown. Because you have an idea now, and that's fine. Not speaking from any experience at all.
That was what I was going to make a joke about. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I had another thought, and it went away. Scatter focus. That's what that's called, or that's what someone named that, when you're just kind of letting your mind wander and do whatever the fuck it's going to do, not expecting anything to really happen. And that's where a lot of really great ideas come from.
That's cool. Didn't know how to name.
Yeah, I didn't either until recently.
Oh, that's very exciting. Right? I love having names for things. I will forget it, but now I'm happy. So that's good.
Cool. What about you? Have you done anything creative? It's been so freaking long since we've talked to each other. It's been so freaking long.
It's been so freaking long. It's been weeks. In fact, it's been like 5 or 6 weeks. It's been ages. I wish I could say that I'd finished my book. I was on track, and then I got sick. And then that was a fantastic excuse not to write.
Right.
But no, I did a lot of good plotting for the rest of the book, which is good, and I've done loads of like drafting each of the final chapters just to make sure that I'm including everything that I needed to. Lots of going back and forth to figure out, what things are missing, what loose ends need tying up, and things like that. I also made a start on a book that I've affectionately named Boys Will Be Boys, which came from a dream that my dad had. And he was like, this would make a good book. And in fact, I agree, it will make a very good book. So we drafted that out while I was away in England over these past few weeks. So it's given me something else to procrastinate about or with. I don't know what the right word is for that. But so that's been fun. I also am considering entering into a writing competition.
Ooh.
By using the first 1,500 words of Blackout, just to see what happens. Because that
sounds cool.
I might as well try it.
Yeah, you can't win if you don't enter.
I mean, I don't think I'll win anyway, but I think it'd be an interesting experience because I've never entered a competition before. So I think I'll do that. The reason why that appealed to me was that it's an anonymous competition. I'll try and find the link and share it with people on social media. But it is because it's anonymous, it means that it doesn't matter how many followers you have on social media and things like that, that it will be taken at face value, which is something that appealed to me. So yeah, that's kind of been it. I've been doing a lot of sketching of the creature in my book, because I will be making I am definitely going to be making models out of the creepy creature. And I also want to add some character art in the book, and I want to make it myself. Like, even if it's crap, I'd rather be like, this is what was in my head, and this is what I can produce. So
cool.
Because I mean, I do still plan on creating my own cover, and in order to do that, I want to be able to draw what it is and whether it's janky or not. I think I could stylize it to make it look artistically more attractive than just like my crappy little sketches. So I will play around with that and see what's what. And if worst comes to worst, I can at least have like the concept of a cover, and and then I can take it to somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and I can say, this is exactly what I want it to look like, but not shit. Can you make it polished, please? So I want to try and have my hand in every single stage of this, because I don't know. I mean, I think you know as well as I do that when you create anything, it's really hard to let other people get involved because they're nothing to do with it. And that upsets me. And I'm like, I want to do it. And there's so many good cover artists out there, but I'm also like, I don't want to do it myself. So that's just a personal red flag of mine. I just I've got a problem with letting people have any control, and that stresses me out when people get involved with stuff. I could have asked so many people or accepted so much help with the website, and even the help that I've accepted has been on a leash because I don't want them getting involved. That's my thing. Get away. But also thank you for helping anyone that's I know for a fact that the person that's helped me the most is not going to be listening to this. But I just think it's something that I want to do for myself and something that I want to create from the ground up. And as I said before, I want to print all the books myself, and I want to bind them myself, and I want to cut them and sign them and hand package them. And that's something that I want to do as like a gift to anyone that wants to give it a chance. So I figured I may as well go balls to the wall with it.
Yeah, go for it. It's exciting.
Yeah, so it'll be good. I am still hoping to have it finished and with alpha readers by the end of this month. Even if it's just like a hot pile of shit, but it's like the finished story, as it were. I'd rather be able to then whittle from, a big chunk of shit into a smaller, shinier chunk of shit than that analogy was going nowhere. It was going straight down the fucking toilet where it belonged. So
I've never seen a shiny chunk of shit before.
Let me tell you a story.
Shiny chunk of shit?
Okay, let me tell you a story.
Okay.
For Christmas one year, my sister made it look like Santa had come and taken a shit in the toilet. Got one of those joke turds and rolled it in glitter. I think it was a joke one. Anyway, and did like glittery footprints going to the toilet and left a little glittery turd in the toilet. Ta-da, Santa's been into town. They exist, is what I'm saying. You can make your own at home.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Fantastic.
That's what I've been up to. I've been reading a lot. Not as much as I wanted to, but I've read a lot. More than I thought I was going to. Well, I thought I was going to actually read like 6 or 7 paperbacks. So I packed 6 or 7 paperbacks of this approximate size.
Oh my god.
Did I read them? No. I read one paperback and like a chapter of each of them. So I have a lot of catching up to do, but I read lots of ebooks because I could like slip that in my pocket and read it anywhere. But I tried to read on the plane there and I slept a lot. Tried to read on the plane back and the man next to me kept leaning on my fat belly. And that was really off-putting. So I didn't get a lot of reading done because I was too busy feeling deeply uncomfortable and they were afraid to say anything. So I just was like, that's happening now. He's leaning on my fucking belly. That's fine. It's fine. But that overlaps into his seat. It's okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so have you read anything recently?
I have read something recently. Oh. I have read this book right here.
Oh, you mean this book?
That book.
This one? This one here?
This one.
This book called The Singer by Hûw Steer? This is not a product placement.
So, I was scared by the accent mark. I did not know how to pronounce Hugh's name. Oh. I read it Hûw.
Oh. I think it's
like
Welsh.
A dumbass.
I think it's Welsh.
Okay. But I went ahead and I checked out his interview on Booked, and that was really nice.
Oh,
Um, and I really enjoy the hardback copy of this adorable novella. It's so pretty,
it looks
and
so
it
good in
looks
hardback, actually.
right. It looks really nice on my shelf too.
Oh, amazing.
I took it down though so that I could manhandle it when we talk about it.
So, I read this months and months and months ago, and I had to have a little
Mhm.
flick through because I'd forgotten what happened throughout most of the book. But I remembered it being incredibly deliciously cozy. It
Mhm.
made me feel like that's what it made me feel.
Yeah.
That made me feel. Did you enjoy it? I mean, there's no pressure to say yes. But it would
Yes.
be
I
so awkward
enjoyed
if you
it.
didn't.
I enjoyed it immensely. And I agree with the assessment. It's very cozy.
Mm.
The narration reminds me of like guided meditations that are like
Ooh.
sleep talk downs.
Oh.
Like the narration is just very calm. It's very peaceful. It's very like melodic.
Mhm.
It's something that you could read and just feel very warm and cozy and comforted. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, and just it's a very nice little story,
It
and it
is.
is pretty short. It's only about 100 pages,
Mhm.
so it's not a huge commitment. I read it in about 2 hours, I think,
Mhm.
yesterday. I didn't procrastinate until the very last minute on it.
That's very advanced. That's like
Right,
super ahead.
right. I was really surprised. I just started it before noon yesterday.
Bloody
Ugh.
yeah, well done.
Right. I've been awake at like the crack of dawn for the past couple of days. It's just been really bizarre. I'm usually the kind of person who will sleep well past noon.
Mhm.
So I don't hate it. It's disturbing.
My dad calls that getting up at the crack of a sparrow's fart, and I still don't know what that means.
Sparrows and are the like early morning birds as opposed to like nightingales, which are the nighttime birds, I think.
I
So
think
if
so.
sparrows are farting, they're waking up for the day.
Probably. I mean, I fart in my
Uh,
sleep, so I don't know if that works. But yeah, I think that's probably what that means.
Probably. That's probably
Yeah.
what that comes from.
I say it a lot without really understanding what it means. But anyway, back to the singer. Um,
Right.
I I didn't know what to expect when I read it, or when I started to read it
Mhm.
all those months ago. And I was pleasantly surprised because I remember Hugh, and I don't know if you remember from the episode of Books, saying that he just likes to write a journey. So he'll just like write somebody walking down the road, and then this happens, and then that happens. And it felt a little bit like that.
Mhm.
But also it had purpose, and there was a lot of depth to it as well, in my opinion, because I don't know, there was just lots of background and there wasn't loads of info dumping, but you really understood what was going on, and you got how everybody interacted with one another and how this little village like exists and coexists with themselves. And I don't know, I thought it was really cute, and it just made I it did make me feel like rubbing my feet together like a little cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do that, but it is very cute. Just the main character, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
he is so precious. He's just so adorable. Just like every socially awkward person to ever be awkward socially,
Mm-hmm.
will absolutely see themselves in Tom. And he's just like it's so wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
And his relationship with Mary is just so wholesome.
I knew you'd love that.
Yeah, I
I
love
just
it
knew it. I
so
was like,
much.
she's gonna love Mary.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love how he speaks to his dog, and how he
Mm-hmm.
worries about cooking dinner, and how he's singing to his crops, but he has to be real careful about it. And it's just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the whole thing is just so proper magic. And I feel like you could make a short film out of this, and it would be a
Mm-hmm.
real
Oh
pleasure to
yeah,
watch.
easily. That
Mm.
could be really nice, yeah.
Even like a beautifully animated short, I think would work with this as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very nice. Like
Yeah.
the you said earlier, mentioned what was it? Something about how you sometimes standalone books are disappointing because there's no more story. The last few pages, I was kind of low-key panicking, like, oh, there's not enough time to properly resolve this. Oh, I'm not going to get closure. It's okay. It's okay. But I would love an epilogue. It's the kind of thing where I would like to know what happens next.
Okay.
The feeling that I had when I closed the book was very bittersweet.
Oh,
because
that's nice.
I totally respect the choice to leave endings ambiguous. I feel like that's a really powerful statement sometimes. This, in this case, definitely one of those times. But I'm the kind of reader, the kind of writer who prefers really unambiguous endings. Like, this is what happens. And now the story is over properly. Have your closure, please. Feel better. Or feel terrible. You know, if it's a tragedy, then you know, feel the feelings and cry and suffer. But I like that it's ambiguous because it allows the reader to imagine whatever version of events they want to. You know, like, ambiguous endings really invite reader collaboration, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a really happy ending.
Oh, that's nice.
Lots of grandkids.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
No, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, because it's not the type of book that I normally would read. There's not nearly enough grossness to it.
There
However,
wasn't any grossness.
female blacksmith, big fan of that. Big fan of that. Loved that she was like, I'm not making spears.
Yes.
That's disgusting. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. You stick by your guns. That made me feel good and happy. I just, I think everyone in the story was treated with respect as well, and it was very, like, each character was purposeful, and I felt like I was getting to know them, and I was just, like, sat in the village square just watching everything go on.
Yes.
It was just so nice. It really encapsulates, like, a small British village. It's exactly what that feels like. And I appreciated that, especially at the time of reading it. I was very homesick, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice." It just reminds me of, like, Somerset, or, you know, just, like, really love. There are lots of parts of England that are just very green, and they're just rolling hills and gorgeous trees and fields, and just these tiny little villages with, like, strange names. And but yeah, I could just see it happening in places that I've lived and existed and visited, and that felt really, really nice to me. I think that's probably why I liked it so much, because it kind of fulfilled that bit of, like, homesickness for me, which I've only just realised, because I've just come back and I feel a bit wistful about it. But yeah, really liked it.
Yeah. I enjoyed the small town sort of feel of it. I've never been to a village in England, and I've never really lived in a small town that could be called a village either. At least not with that same kind of vibe. But it is really, it's just nice. It's very homey. It's very cozy. It is obviously not supposed to be historical fiction. There are elements of, you know, alternate history with the female equality, basically, and which was very cool. And then there's, you know, elements of low magic or soft magic, which was also very cool. I loved that the system wasn't, like, belabored, but we got enough information about it that we could kind of figure out how it worked.
Yeah,
which was very cool. And it sort of hinted that there might be more to it than we see in the book, and that's very cool too.
Yeah, I feel like it leaves itself open to more from that universe. I don't know if he'll ever do that. I assume Hugh's going to be listening to this, and if you are Hugh, I would read more of this. I have
Me
Ad
too.
Luna here, which is another one of Hughes that I haven't read yet, and I'm a spine cracker and a dog earer, and I'm not. I don't apologise for that. They're my books. I'm not borrowing somebody else's books. I don't want to crack that spine yet because it's so stunning.
It's very pretty.
A
Yeah.
stunning book. With the cover anyway. I haven't read it yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll do it when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet.
No pressure.
It's too pretty. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
I might have to just get the ebook and leave it as it is, which I don't do very often. Usually, I'm like, crack that spine. I don't give a shit. That particular book is very pretty, and I love moon things. It has got a moon thing. Well, it's got a moon on the front. So
nice.
Anyway, that's not what we were talking about. But anyway, yeah. So I'm really glad that you gave this book a chance, actually, because I feel like Hugh gets overlooked as an author because he has a very I love the way that he writes. It feels very polished to me, and it feels very like he's so excited to tell you the story.
Yes.
And I'm so drawn to that.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like people need to read more of Hugh's work because it is fantastic. And if you love fantasy stuff, you will love Hugh's stuff. If you love sci-fi stuff, you'll love Hugh's stuff. If you just want a nice time, you could pick up The Singer. It's great. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited as well. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, then go get it because it won't cost you anything. So you may as well give it a go. It'll take you a couple of hours, and it's a really good gateway into his work. But I will put the link for his author feature and also his website in the description of this episode because I urge you to check it out. Yeah, go do that. That's a threat. I'm threatening you with a good time.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I agree that the enthusiasm of the narrator is infectious. And I don't know if it's really noticeable, but I noticed that the main character wasn't named until he started interacting with other people. And I thought that was a really interesting touch. It was obviously an intentional choice. And I thought it did a lot to illuminate or draw attention to the sort of isolation of the main character from the rest of society, even though he's really, well integrated with this village that he's part of. I think it's, what is it? Cairn? I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
In my head, I pronounce it as Cairn.
Okay. All right.
Whether that's right, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like key is like quay. So I'm thinking Cairn. It's like similar.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. You tell us.
Right?
You may well be the only person listening to this episode, so you can interact with us. This is a personal message to you. Is it Cairn? We'll find out.
Okay.
I hadn't noticed that actually.
Okay.
But that's fascinating. I do wonder if that was an intentional choice. I feel like a lot of what he does is very intentional because of the care and time that he takes in his writing. When I asked him to do, and along with some other writers, I asked him to do a written interview for Idiosyncrasy. And from the prompt I gave him, it spurred on like a few 1,000-word story because he couldn't stop writing it. And I was like, that's amazing. That's amazing. He just loves telling stories, and I really appreciate that, and that very much comes across in his very enthusiasm. Cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Well done, Hugh. Well done. Yeah, no, I'm glad. This was there's not a lot more that we can say about it without spoiling literally every moment.
Right.
It's a novella, so it's quite short, but yeah. That's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. Cool. Now where do we go from here? Fucking hell. Oh dear.
We haven't talked in so long. I haven't heard really anything about your trip except that you got sick. So how was your trip other than the fact that you got sick?
It was really good. It was really
That's
good. I had loads of fun times. So
good.
my family spread all over the country, so I had to do quite a lot of traveling. I say had to. It was obviously a privilege to be able to do that. So I started off in the sort of like southwest of England, in a tiny little village, seeing one part of my family, and ate some good food. I'd really missed eating things like lamb and curry.
Mm.
So lamb only because like nobody that I live with or that I'm near will eat lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, people that don't eat meat. I won't talk about it in too much more detail, but I really like lamb. To me, that's like
It's
an Eastery
delicious.
food
Uh-huh.
because we eat lamb at Easter in England. Kind of morbid, actually. They're like, oh, frolicking around in the field at spring. Let's slaughter them all and cook them, and they're delicious. But delicious all the same. So yeah, got to have some of that. I've had so much curry, like Indian style curry, because
Delicious.
again, nobody in my family will eat it, which is criminal. But it also means that I can't really eat it. I mean, I could, but that's a lot of work for one person.
Right.
Because well, where I grew up in England anyway, there were loads of Indian restaurants, and they aren't as prevalent around these parts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been like holding in this yawn
It's
for
okay.
like half an hour.
That's fine. It's fine. That's the thing about these video things is, as I said
Uh-huh.
earlier, if you're picking a booger, people are going to see it. Which is why I'm sitting on my hands. I'm kidding. So yeah, that was one of the first things I did as soon as I got there. I did a lot of eating. I was going to have fish and chips, but it never happened because I just didn't fancy it.
Okay.
Because it is super oily. But I did have a lot of food, a lot of chocolate, because the chocolate here is disgusting. I don't care what anyone says. It's disgusting. It's not the same.
I'm not a big chocolate person, so
Because
no
the
offense
chocolate
taken.
here is bad. If you had European chocolate, you would feel differently, I think. I
Quite
should have brought you
possibly.
some. I picked you up some tea.
Yay!
So I'm going to be sending that to you. We could do like a little tea review next time. But
Yes, I'm so excited.
so it's a supermarket brand tea, and it
That's
is my
fine.
favorite tea. It's the Sainsbury's Red Label black tea, and it is my absolute favorite. When I worked my first ever job, that is the tea that we would use. And so I've been drinking this tea for like all my life, basically. British, we do it from the womb. But I have it with milk, and it's best with milk, in my opinion. But I will be sending that to you. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you think it's disgusting, then obviously you can tell me, and I won't get any more. But I have like a bag about this big of them in my house at all times because I don't want to run out of tea because that's criminal. I've also missed the coffee in England. I think the coffee here is not that good. I'm saying it. The Americans, they are a nation of coffee drinkers. I don't know how. Because when you get like the black filter coffee, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't like it anyway. That's a personal opinion.
I'm a coffee drinker myself, but over the past couple of years, I have come to discover that most coffee that I've had in my life is absolute garbage. And coffee is very particular. If you don't treat it right, it will not taste good for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've become kind of a coffee snob.
Good for you.
A little bit, yeah. Grind my own beans. I have an espresso machine. I'm a prissy bitch.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's great.
It is an infinitely different experience. And it's
Mhm.
not a case of like, ooh, if you drink full coffee, you're an idiot. I just don't like it in my mouth. That's the end. That's the wonderful thing about opinions. It's just about me and being
Right,
selfish.
exactly.
It's just about me and what I think. But yeah, I missed even the British instant coffee is better.
Oh
In
my
my
god,
opinion.
instant coffee is awful.
There are some brands that I will drink because it reminds me of my grandma because
okay.
she loves an instant coffee. But anyway, so I consumed heavily while I was there. That was like my main thing. Was like, where are we going to eat next? What am I going to have to eat next? Because I fucking love eating. I love it. I love it so much. Got to go to a museum with an organ made of Furbies.
Okay.
Is exactly how it sounds, except the Furby organ was out of service, but the owl organ was not. And so this is it's a museum in, I think it was in Ramsgate, which is on the southeast coast. And I think it's called This Museum Is Not Obsolete. And it's basically full of like random electronic shit that people have like mishmashed together to make other things. So there was like a lot of it was like instruments mashed up with like old gaming consoles. So it was like a Sega Mega Drive organ. And like weird electronic Teletubbies that were like hooked up to this big wire system, and you pressed a button and it's caused them to do like a little Mexican wave. It was wild.
That's weird, yeah.
I think it was started by, I just think of the name of the YouTube channel, but there's this dude who does like cool stuff with electronics. I can't remember. It's cool anyway. My nephew was like, hey, look at this Furby organ, and I became obsessed, and then we ended up going because I had to see it in real life, and it wasn't working, which was disappointing. But they did have a giant Furby that was like this big, little egg, which was cool. And like tank night vision, and like the world's longest Pong and things like that. So it was cool. I had a really good time. Didn't understand how it all worked, but I got to play with is it a theremin or a pheromone? Theremin. You know, like the weird like metal stick thing, and you put your hand near it and it goes woo.
Oh yeah. I have no idea what it's called, but yeah.
Yeah, one of those. That was really weird and wasn't as fun as it looked.
I mean, it does one little trick, and after that, you've experienced it, and then what else is there?
I know. Yeah, it's just electronic whiny stick.
Whiny stick.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's just a big whiny stick. If anybody needs any instruments naming, come to me. I'm your gal. Yeah. So I can't think of anything else that I did. Obviously, spent a lot of time with friends and family. Went to the pub a lot. That was good. Had a good time doing that. Yeah, love going to the pub. Pubs are different here. Don't have the same vibe. There is a chain of pubs in, a bit of a loose term, in England called Wetherspoons, and they are the cheapest place to drink, which is great, but also very sad. The atmosphere is always quite sad. And there is one, I'm probably giving away too much of my identity here, but in the town that I grew up, the Wetherspoons used to be a church, and it still has all the churchy features, like where the font used to be, and like all the paintings on the walls and the ceilings, and like old stained glass and stuff. So you walk in, it stinks of like piss and beer.
Oh.
And you have to walk down to where the crypts used to be to go to the toilet. But £5 a pint, that's cheap. So, swings and roundabouts.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that was most of my trip, really. I got sick and had tonsillitis and a sinus infection at the same time. For the first time ever for both of them, and I wouldn't recommend it. So I had to push my flight back, and I was late back here. But now I'm back. I'm trying to catch up with everything. Had lots of emails that were like over a month old, because I just couldn't be bothered to look at them. Yeah. And that's not very good business, but...
Well, I mean, you were literally traveling on vacation, and you were sick, so...
Yeah!
Yeah, it's fine. You're allowed to take time off. You're allowed to not answer emails for a while.
Yeah, it's fine. I did have a good amount of time to... I mean, as we were saying before, sometimes it's not the case of, like, actually writing the words down, but I had a good amount of time being able to think about where I want to take everything, and so trying to hash out in my brain, like, what direction do I want to take this, and what do I want to put my energy into from now on, and that was quite therapeutic, actually, because I felt like I was stuck in a bit of a rut before I left. So I feel like I know what direction I'm moving in now, which is really nice. And it's kind of been a bit of a weight off my shoulders, because I've thought, like, what the fuck am I doing? It really felt like that. It does, and I mean, I know that we had a little bit of a like heavy moment during a couple of episodes ago, maybe. Can't remember exactly what it was. or I was like, I don't really know what to do with it, and putting in loads of time and energy and money into something, and then thinking like, what the fuck is this? is a bit of a drain on the emotions. So I feel like I'm getting to a point where I actually know what I'm doing. So that's nice.
Cool.
That's good.
That is really nice.
Yeah. That was what I did.
Nice. I'm glad you're back. I missed you a lot.
Oh, I miss you too.
Oh.
That's nice. No, I've honestly, I do truly, I've really missed this, because this is, I love Booked, but I feel like I have to, not that I'm that professional, but I feel like I have to be like prepared, and I have my questions, and this is the structure, and this I'm like, what are we doing? And that feels nice, and it's like our little silly time that we have, and not being able to record that regularly sucks, actually. I didn't like that. So I'm going to take my microphone next time I go travelling, and we'll just do it on the road.
Okay. I have no problem with that.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope, like, I'm really hoping that this, like, false start that I got a few days ago actually becomes something, and I can start writing in the thousands of words instead of the hundreds of words. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen.
It will, I believe in you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
But yeah, that's the plan, the tentative plan. The ADHD and the muse willing, because I don't want to say anything more religious than that, but yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thanks.
Eventually we'll be able to create a soundboard. That'll be fun. Have like one of those little DJ things. I don't know what they're called, like the square things with the light up buttons.
I'm pretty sure that's like a soundboard. That's what that's called, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretending that this was a coffee. It stopped being a coffee long ago, and I kept topping up with Diet Coke. And at one point, it tasted like coffee and Diet Coke, and I was like, "This is disgusting." Watering it down because I didn't want to keep giving Diet Coke free advertising to our thousands of viewers, and so it's look at that revolt. That's disgusting.
I've never had coffee and Diet Coke.
Wouldn't recommend it.
But yeah, no, that does not sound good.
Disgusting. Yeah. PSA, don't do that. It's revolt. I've committed now, and I'm not going to waste it.
Well, good for you. I guess good for Diet Coke.
Yeah, so I mean, I decided not to show the can, but I said Diet Coke about 50 times. So there you go. Enjoy that beverage of my choice, which I will not give up, even though it's probably brittling my bones as we speak. Oh my god! Sometimes I just get sick of myself. Today is one of those days, but no, it's been so nice to talk to you again.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun, and I hope that anyone that listens to this or watches this episode takes a chance on The Singer by Hûw Steer in ebook or hardback or paperback.
Yes,
I'd recommend the hardback because that's really pretty, and that doesn't look as pretty, but
it's very pretty.
That's nice. But yeah, I will catch you in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode of Strangers in Fiction.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today, Book Goblins. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe, share this video or podcast episode, and stay tuned.
Yes, stay
for
tuned.
More unhinged talk about the unreal on the regular.
Yeah. And that's where I'll fade the music, I think.
Okay.